Clevatess Season 1, all 12 episodes now out. We're going to talk about it, so smash your thoughts down below, smash that like button, click subscribe, and let's talk about Season 1 of Clevatess.
テレビアニメ「クレバテス」魔獣の王と赤子と屍の勇者7月より
So all 12 episodes of Clevatess are now available for you guys to go and binge, watch at your leisure, whenever you want. It's all there right now to go and watch. And this is a dark fantasy anime, so it does not shy away from showcasing you some pretty insane stuff. Now, I'm not saying that this is on the level of like a Berserk insane stuff, but it is still pretty insane. Now, when it comes to Clevatess, this was one that was not on my radar at the start of the year, but it became one that I truly fell in love with. And what I truly like about this is the characters themselves and the story itself. Now, you have this king of the dark beast, Clevatess. Well, there's 4 of them, but he's one of the 4. And when his home gets invaded by the heroes, he then takes it upon himself to go wipe out mankind. He's like, screw this, I'm wiping this out. But then, obviously, the progression of the story is Clevatess trying to understand how humanity works and whether or not they are valuable to keep, or do I just extinguish them all in one go? So Clevatess becomes this character that you actually fall really in love with as he progresses because of the development that they give him. You know, he's always continuously tested with seeing the worst in humanity. For instance, when he's at the bandit camp and we see how they treat Nell and all these other people and how this is the worst of humanity. And when you see that, you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, Clevatess, I mean, if you were to wipe out humanity, there's your reason right there. That gives you your reason. But then on the other hand, he sees the beauty, the good of what humanity can offer with a character like Nell, who, even though she's been battered, bruised, you know, assaulted in every shape, way, and form, you know, she's deaf in one ear because she's been beaten so bad, but is still willing to stay there in order to save someone's life because that is her purpose. Her purpose is to make sure that this baby survives. So Clevatess learns about the both, the good and the bad of humanity. And in that moment, he's now going to make a decision of like, do I just wipe them all out? Or do I not? Because there are people like this. And I think that journey that Clevatess goes on really pays off in that final episode when the big battle is happening and Clevatess is sitting there and he's like, you know what, I don't even care. None of this freaking matters anyway. Who gives a crap? I'm just going to go back to my mountain and, you know, just do what I normally do. I don't care about this battle with human. I don't have no reason to stop this other dark beast coming in and taking all this. I have no problem with it. And it's that moment when Alicia actually says to him, like, is this a lesser race? Is Luna a lesser race? Like, this was your purpose, was to get Luna on the throne. And that moment, I think, really pays off so well because of the journey that Clevatess goes on from episode 1 to episode 12. And I think it's such a beautiful written character that when you get to that moment where he's got to decide what is he going to do, and then at the very end of the episode, the cliffhanger of, you know, the queen basically saying, look, I'm forever in your debt. What is one thing you want? Ask for anything and I'll grant it to you. And that's when we get the big cliffhanger of Clevatess saying, I want to be the teacher of the king. So he wants to be Luna's teacher. And I think that just comes back to his character of like where he is now. And I think that was fantastic. Also, Alicia, the hero, she has such a great character arc from when you find her and how she's this hero. She goes up against Clevatess. She's the first one to actually damage him, damage his horn. And Clevatess finds, you know, something in her and say, oh, you could be useful for me. It brings her back from the dead. And now she goes on this journey of trying to find out what it meant to be a hero, why she wanted to be a hero in the first place. And it pays dividend again in the final episodes when she comes up to the person that killed her father. And when we get that whole backstory to the father and the relationship with Drell and how, you know, she wanted to be the hero, but her dad taught her the line about war and a hero. What makes the difference? Like, going to war is not being a hero, you know, in this instance, you know, waging war and revenge for that is not what a hero does. And she has to learn about that moving forward. And it pays off in the end as well, especially in the moment where the town folk are calling her a hero and she feels that gratitude, like she's finally achieved her dream. I think it was just a fantastic character arc as well. Then you have Nell, who has such a sad backstory, and I remember watching those first early episodes. What they did with that character, I mean, was just horrific, and you could just see it and see the best of humanity in that character. And then when he does actually bring her back alive, I was so pleasant. But she still has her little arc here, and it's paid off in the end as well, where she believes that she was not worthy to help the king because of her status in society, where she is the low of the low. And, she wasn't worthy in that. Maybe she's, put a stain on the king now because of that. And I just found the character, our core group, so compelling, so well written, that when everything comes together in the final episodes, it's paid off so brilliantly, and it sets up the next season great. And I want season 2 now. I want to see where these characters go now that we have the true villain that is being revealed in this season. Where does this take us now moving forward? I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see that. The world itself is very fascinating because we have this almost condensed area on the earth, but there is more to be explored. And then bringing in this idea of true humanity, what is that? Are these humans that could use magic, to its full potential and stuff? They lived before the Dark Beast, before the people we have now. Is such a fascinating idea, and it just adds more, what's the word I'm looking for? More intrigue to what the lore of this world truly is. And Clevatess makes a point of it in the final episodes, where he talks about, it's not about the hero, the legends of the heroes we have now, but the true legend of the heroes. What is that? And trying to find it. And the book, what does this book mean? What does it unlock? So I think there are so many, crumbs there that have been set up for a trail for us to follow into the actual lore itself. That is so fascinating that I can't wait to explore in season 2. So I think they do such a great job at the world building here as well. The fights were great as well. I really, really enjoyed it. I love the uniqueness of how they have these weapons, and each one represents something else. The story of Drell and how he became the villain of this season and what actually happened with him was fascinating to see as well. How the rise and fall, where he came from with the Swordmaster as his friend. He couldn't be the hero, so he takes up the mantle, but actually becomes a curse rather than a blessing, because being a hero is something cool, but Drell got cursed with it because of the events that transpired from that, and how he did it and what ended up. But the final episode has this really, really gruesome scene with Drell and the way that he ends, and it's very telling when it comes to the King of the Dark Beast and what they're willing to do and how quickly they can drop you. So it was all great. I had an absolute ball with Clevatess. I can't wait for season 2. It's a really, really good dark fantasy anime. So if you're looking for one like that, this is it. It's bloody, it's gory, it's got everything you want. It's got great characters, great story, great world building. I would highly recommend watching Clevatess. Season 1 right now, 12 episodes. Go and watch it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.